Guys, how's it going? Hopefully you guys can still hear me pretty good. So we're here, we're going to do another computer build. So right here we have the Fractal Design case, the Focus G. It was about $60 for me, I got it on sale. Also it's blue. Now the case, it is a bit warped I find, like I can... Oh no, it's not going to do it. It's on a solid 4, it can slightly bend, but that's okay. It'll work once I put all the weight in it. It's a pretty affordable case. It's pretty well built for its price. It has these two fans in it already, pre-installed fans, so it's really well worth it for its price if you just want to build a budget computer for, let's say, $1,000. So I have the case. I also have a Ryzen 5 3600 processor, which I'll be putting into the computer. So it has a cooler in that. It's AM4, VR ready, pretty sweet. I also have, I didn't buy a graphics card, I actually got given a graphics card by one of my buddies that I worked with at a tech company, and I got a Radeon R7950 graphics card, so it benchmarks around the same as a GTX 1050, GTX 1050 Ti I believe, so pretty good, and especially since I didn't have to pay $300-400 for it, that makes this build a lot better. And there was a chip that was replaced on it just recently, like right before I got it, so hopefully that makes things a lot nicer. I got a 1TB solid state drive, so that's going to be for Windows and the games, so pretty good. I also have a 1TB hard drive. This is actually from my past computers, but it just has all my data on it, so except for Windows 10. It just has game data, storage, art, everything else. So this will be the secondary drive, which will hold stuff I don't need a fast drive for. We also have a 16 gigabyte DDR4 3200 hertz RAM chip. So this should power it. The motherboard can support 32 gigabytes of RAM, so we can upgrade to 32 in the future if we want. And then that'll be that. We have a micro ATX AMD motherboard. This supports AM4 and up to 32 gigabytes of RAM. So hopefully it'll be pretty good. It only has one GPU socket, but that's all I need. In the future I may upgrade this to a 2-slot. Can't remember what they're called exactly, those slots, but very nice motherboard, so should work fine. Just take all the specs of this computer will be in the description, as well as possibly a benchmark. So hoping this works out pretty nicely. Then we have a 650 watt power supply from Antec. So yeah, hoping this works pretty good. My last power supply was 600 watts on my last computer. And it was by, what was it by? It was by Thermaltake, the Smart Series, so, but these are cheaper and they're pretty good from going from the reviews. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to have to start putting this thing together. So, the nice thing about this case is, put it on its front. Right here, we have these screws, you can undo these. These stay on the case, these don't actually come all the way out, and I don't know how much I like these. So I feel like it would damage it or something, but the panel slides off and the screws stay with it. So it's very, very nice. So put it down. So panels come off pretty easy. I'm just gonna put them onto a blanket I have on the floor for them to stay pretty nice. So then we have this panel, which comes off. I think this is a plastic. It has a protection cover on both sides. On the inside it isn't really the best put on, but I mean, it works and has the inside going to get scratched. The outside, pretty nice. It basically protects the entire piece of plastic. So it's not glass, but it should be fine. There. So now we have our main tower. We have our two fans, which I believe light up. We have all our plugs, and we have a little box here that I will show you guys. I move the hard drive. So this box here, to get at it, you take out this hard drive bay, which I don't have a hard drive that fits this, so I'm just gonna sit in there. But in here, we actually have a little thing of zip ties and screws, and thumb screws. So I'm gonna have fun with this probably. I think I have to set up the pins, because I don't think the pins in this are set up, so I'm gonna have to do that. And these other ones I'm not sure what they're for, but I do have an instruction manual somewhere for it. I believe this is instruction manual. If not, I'll have to search something up. But we have this. So the user guide. So this should tell us what it's for, I guess. I'll have to go through it if I want to know. Power supply screws, optical drive screws, motherboard standoff, motherboard screws, 2.5 drive screw, padlock bracket, cable tie. Now, I'm not sure what a padlock bracket is, but anyways, we have nice screws here. This one's a little bent. That's a-okay. So these screws here hold these shields on that let you put in a graphics card. So we're gonna put the drive back in, the drive bay. So those just sit in there pretty nice. So yeah, I think the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put in the power supply, and then we'll do the motherboard and get it sized on here, and then we can start putting in some of these brackets. So, because yeah, it's a micro motherboard, so it's probably gonna fit around here. So we're gonna do that, but we're gonna get the power supply in first. So let's open up this power supply. So keeping it. Oh boy. So nice packaging. Currently, the power supply is in a type of bubble wrap case. This is really nice. Glad to know they protected it a lot better than the thermal take. The thermal take, I believe, is just kind of cardboard, but I mean, that's probably all you need. But you know, stuff happens in shipping that shouldn't happen. Don't know if you guys watched PewDiePie's little paper computer. Somehow shipping really messed that up. So this is the power supply. We've on-off, main power, 650 specs, and we have all our power cables and peripherals. So we have that. This screws into the case, like boom. So all the power cables will probably run through the back of the case because it keeps everything clean. We've got our power cord, like another one to add to my collection of dozens of power cords. And quality, warranty, so I do get warranty with it, which is nice, as well as my different connector types. It's really good. I had to make sure I had 8 6+2 pin PCIe because this graphics card does require 2 of those pins. So I had to make sure I had that pin out. So yeah, really glad to know that this came. So we're actually gonna undo these wires. So lots of power cables. I'm not sure how to organize when we get the power cables. I really hope I can organize it pretty good. But a bit loose here, but that's pretty good. It has a nice little grommet or something to hold it. So we're just gonna go like this. I'm gonna move around to the other side. Hold and like so. So that's all the cables through, and then this we can mount in here. So let's actually grab the mounting screws and we will mount the power supply. Okay. So power supply is done. We've got it mounted here. We've got a screw here, screw here, screw here, screw here. It ain't going anywhere. Do that, it won't fall out. So now we are going to put the motherboard in, or I mean get it sized at least, and we will check out that for sizing. Just gonna tuck those cords there now. So now we're gonna put the motherboard in. test the sizing to see how well it fits and where we need to put the sizing screws. Or not the sizing screws, the mounting screws. So this box is done, we can eat it. Okay. So this is the beautiful motherboard. We got a nice little sticker thing. So it'd be really nice to have that. Make sure it's recording so I'm not dumb. So we do get a bunch of stuff with the motherboard. We get a shield, some SATA cables, as well as a thank you for choosing, a driver's disc, and how to mount things, I guess, as well as an M2 screw for a solid state drive, which I am so glad they have this because I really needed it. So we're just going to put this back in so the motherboard can sit on it when we need it to. Motherboard, pretty simple. Comes in very, very nice packaging. We're just going to take this tape off gently so I don't wreck anything. So, conductive grid bag. It's pretty cool. I have to do some experiments with that. So this is the motherboard. I mean, all the components are main components, but this is the component where everything has to plug into. It's a really nice build. Looks pretty nice. We've got our DDR4 slots. Got stuff here. We don't have USB-C, but we have our audio, our USB. So not top of the line not top of the line motherboards, but it will do. We have our M2 slot as well as the thingy. I can't call it. What is it? I can't remember. It's NVMe? No, I don't know. PCIe. It's PCIe, okay. And now, I'm not sure what this is for. I know what these are for, but not that, so it'll be interesting. So, anyways, we gotta size it, so let's not hit anything. So it looks like we've got to put 6 in. Looks like we have 6 we have to put in. So yeah, we'll do that and put it in and see how it works. So we put another board right there and start putting in these screws. So what we need to do is we need to grab these. We're going to grab these ones. We're going to put them in the slots that we need. Okay, now we have all these in after a bit of persuasion. It was very hard to get those in this case. I mean, cheaper cases, they might not have the best threads for it, so you need a bit of persuasion to get in sometimes. But now our motherboard fits on those screws. Now, let's find out what screws the motherboard uses. And for that, what we need to do, guys, we go back to the screw guide. So, motherboard screws are just basically a flathead without a washer, looking type thing. So, in theory, these should be motherboard screws. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we only need 5 of them. Here we are. We have more if we needed them, but so here's our screws. We're gonna put them here. We're now gonna put the motherboard in. So yeah, let's do that. Actually, the IO should to go in first, doesn't it? I can't remember. Does it? I don't know. Let's do that though. Here's the shield. We're gonna put this in there. Really nice shield. So it should go this way. Yeah. It should. Okay, so now the motherboard is secured. It has screws, the I/O shield, everything's in there. It's pretty sweet. It works fine. Help. Keyword is hope. Ah, shit. We don't have any internet cards, like for Wi-Fi, so I actually have a wired connection. Right here you may see this cable. This is wired, so that'll be fun. Now, you could probably... I don't think there's any solid state drive now. Oh yeah, it's M2. Now we're going to put in the solid state drive, which is what I'm kind of excited for. We're not putting the hard drive right away, but I want to make sure I install Windows 10 onto the solid state drive, and I'm not sure how to do that without keeping the hard drive out. So we're just going to keep the hard drive out for it. Keeps it easy. It'll be pretty sweet. So this is the solid state drive. It's M2, 1 gigabyte. Should be pretty sweet, so we'll start putting this in there. So I'm going to try not to drop it. So M2 drive. Now we're going to grab... I don't even know where the M2 screw went. It's not good. It's in the box. It's in the box. We have the M2 screw. We're going to need tiny screws for that. So we're going to put this in. And boom. And then should be lined up with that. All I have to do is undo this. Makes things a lot harder when you're on the bit. So now we're going to try and put that in there. And we're going to try screwing this down. Boom. And now our solid state drive's in there. This is beautiful, man. Sweet, now that the solid state drive's in there, we can, I guess, have the RAM. That sounds about right to me. So, now we have the RAM chip, 16 gigabytes of RAM, DDR4 at 200 megahertz. So, let's put it in. So this motherboard can support to 32 gigabytes of RAM, and that's about it. So, that stuff. It's a nice chip, DR4, Rip Jaws, G-Skill, so pretty sweet chip. Pretty well built, nice case for it. This case is actually on hinges too, so it can open up. Not sure why you need it like that, but you can do that. So the DDR4 boost side, which is this closest side, supports 60 gigabyte chips. So that's what we'll do. We shall put this into here. Boom, it snaps in like that, and we now have a chip. So I'm really hoping the CPU cooler can still fit in there. And so we're gonna do wiring and then the GPU, just because the GPU might actually be hell. So this is the magic, guys. This is the Ryzen 5 3600 processor. So we now have it, which is good. So now what we're going to do is, well, put it in. So we need to lift it up and carefully open the processor. I don't want to damage any of the pins. Now that's the arrow on that side. And that's the arrow on that side. So what happens is, on these pins there's actually an arrow in the one corner that shows you which way you have to put it. So that's the arrow on this side. Boom, and it slots in like that. Now we can clamp it down, and boom, processor's in. Now for the heatsink. This should keep up with it unless I overclock it, but I will not be overclocking it. Yeah. This is the AMD Race Spire cooler. So it's pretty sweet. Only problem is I gotta take out those screws because I don't have a different mounting bracket for it. How do those work? Oh, it lets you squeeze in. So I'm gonna check to see if I have another mounting bracket, but should be fine. So that one. Pretty cool, has a nice bracket on the bottom. I'm hoping that bracket doesn't fall out, because I do need it, I believe, still for this. So, last screw, and now we have this last screw. Yeah, that bracket's gonna fall out. So yeah, and there we go. Now I believe this cooler does need that bracket, right? It looks like it, because there's no other mounting screws on the underside. So, yeah, it does need this plate. So yeah, this is a very nice plate, I will say that. So, this has to go on the bottom, and we have to screw to it. So, let's grab it. Which way would be best to put it? This way, it looks like. Let's get the main power in, or these would probably be nice. So the only problem I have with this is I wonder if it came, usually there's like a little bracket it gives you, power switch, reset switch, hold LED, and power LED. I'm hoping this came with one, because I didn't see one, but it could just be me. But usually they come with a little bit of a wiring thing, so you don't screw up the wires. But it doesn't look like it came with one, which does scare me. So the power switches in that will be a problem because we don't have a bracket for it. Now this is the audio cable, so that one's easy. Yep, that plugs in there. This is USB. So, yep. So let's get these plugged in. So this is the cord that plugs into here. So, boom, that should be plugged in. And we have our audio. So that should be, put that under, will be this one. So yeah, this case does come with somewhat cheap stuff. So I mean, it's to be expected, some of it. And then our USB, we shall plug into the USB, obviously. Does that not have? Okay. So there's our USB. Now all we have left is our power connections and such, but I'm not doing it unless I can find a diagram or something, because if I mess this up, it's going to be really bad. So I'm going to have to find a diagram for this. Oh wait, there is a diagram. The diagram on the motherboard, so we're actually going to do that. But I need more light to actually read this, so. Power LED. Plus negative. So actually we should be able to go. Okay, and then our reset, so our power. Oh boy. Look at this. Let's pull this one out. Positive on these does have an error. Okay. Another power switch. Another reset. Okay, sweet. So that should be all wired up correctly. I'm really hoping it's wired up correctly. The only one that wouldn't be wired up correctly, I think, would be the reset switch. It doesn't have a positive or negative indicator, so it's a slight problem for that. But it should be the way. And plus, worst case scenario, I think it's just literally a switch, so I don't know if it needs a positive or negative. So, if anything, it might not work in general. So, we got that. We have the solid state drive. Now, I think we need to start plugging in the bigger cables. So, this is going to be fun. So we have our Goliath power cable right here. This goes to the motherboard. So we are going to put that into the motherboard. Which how does that work? This goes. Oh, okay, yeah, I see. It has a compatibility thing. So this plugs in like that. Okay. So that should be the power-ish, except for the fact that we did it slightly wrong. Oh. This has to go here. There we go. This won't plug in if it's on top. So there we go. Now if we go here, here, should be plugged in all the way to the top, which it is. So this is what we wanted. Sweet, beautiful. Now let's actually plug in these fans while we're here. So we have beautiful LED fans, which is really nice. So we are going to plug these bad boys in to the board. Sweet. So we're probably going to run these in through the back, because it just makes sense to have all the wiring in the back. Now, system fan 1. And huge system fan. This should still work, so we're gonna run it here and then to here. Should plug in like that. And there's fan number 1. Now, this board, I'm pretty sure had a second system fan. So one thing I'm going to mention is I actually didn't realize it, but this motherboard does only have one fan header. There's one CPU and one case. Now this case does have 2 fans, so what's going to happen is I'll probably invest in a splitter later if temperatures become a problem, or to fix OCD because this one won't be on, only this one will. So that may serve a bit of OCD problems. Worst case scenario is I make my own splitter, but I mean splitters are like $5, so I'll probably invest in a splitter and that'll probably fix that, and I might even get like another fan for the top. Who knows, but all I know is it's probably pretty good, so should work as is. Of course, a good job. Now we have the 2 plates, which we don't need because this is going in, and that cord may or may not be on there. It doesn't look like it will be. Now, this thing needs this bracket open, and then firm push, and it's in. Now we're just going to add these screws back in. Yeah, overall I'm pretty good on everything, on all the purchases. I'm happy about all the purchases except for the case, but I mean it saved me money, which that's the only good thing about this case, is it saved me money and it lets you build a computer in a pinch. So, but I've had better cases than this for sure. I mean, for the price it's not bad. Sweet. Now we just gotta plug it in. So, yep, we have this one needs to plug in. Just hold it there, and then we have this one. Boom. Now that should be plugged in. These cords probably bend down a bit with the case, and then tuck those. So I mean, that's pretty sweet. This bracket bend out a little. There, fixed. So, yeah, kind of. So sweet, we got our SLI, which we don't need SLI, but I mean, you can always use SLI on it. Yeah, I'm not sure if we're missing anything. We've got solid state drive, which is the drive. We don't actually need a hard drive quite yet, which we can add that pretty soon. I just really want to get Windows 10 running on here. Take 2. Oh, I turned off the power supply. Okay, ready? Take 2. That fan turns on, that one turns on. We press reset. It doesn't do much because I think it has to be turned on. So let's switch the HDMI, and we shall go to the monitor, which it should do something, hopefully. Might. Let's turn this off and back on. Alright, so yeah, AMD Ryzen 5, 56 core. Phone runs up, so I do need a keyboard, so we'll do that. Seems like it runs fine. We have our mouse, which is a bit slow, but that might be the BIOS. So, let's go on to installing Windows 10. How we do that is I create an installation drive, which hopefully works, so we're just gonna power it off. We're gonna plug in the USB drive, and hopefully it should try and boot up the USB. Right. So we'll just turn this off and back on. Have a display. So it took a bit for it to boot up, not sure entirely why, but I guess we'll just do all this, install now. So it should install Windows, which would be nice. That light behind me is very obnoxious, but gives me a point to focus on. I don't have a product key. I actually probably do from the other computer, which I'll use that product key, but we could do Windows 10 Pro, I guess. When I use my product key, it should give me that later, but who knows. I accept. Next, install Windows. There's no files on the solid state drive anyways, so. Oh, maybe I should click home. Accept, next. Install Windows only. Yeah. I don't have any files, so. Located space. We'll click next. I don't know, is it a bad thing if you just share all your files with the other files? Not entirely sure. But, so Windows will go on here and probably most of my stuff, so we'll be back when this finishes. Oh, wow, actually, it's going really fast. Why is it's going so fast? Windows 10 is now installed, guys. We have it all installed. Then, yeah, it's pretty nice. This is my solid state drive. This would be my hard drive, which I plugged in while it was booting up, so it should be fine. We're gonna remove the installation drive. So, yep. Now I don't see an activate Windows thing, which is really curious. Does that let me go? Can I do settings? Oh, okay, now it says activate. So I'll activate that later. But first, guys, we have one really big issue that I need to show you guys. The fact is that I cleaned up first of all the stickers on there, so it's really nice. So the main issue is I have a giant mess here. The desk is a mess, so we're gonna probably clean all this up. The office computer I'll probably just store under the desk for now or something. So I didn't use it for anything except charging my phone. It's a glorified phone charger right now. They put more RAM in it one day, maybe it'll become a server, I don't know. The Xbox has got to move. Yeah, this is an Xbox that I was working on. So we're gonna get all this cleaned up, and then yeah, I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's cleaned up. And there we go, guys. That's the setup. Got the computer built there, monitor, and I now have playable space. and things have been more organized. Cycling is still kind of being cleaned up and more organized, but other than that, the build is done. I hope you all enjoyed. Hope maybe you learned something, or at least watched my many mistakes that I probably made. Hey, at least it functions. And yeah, I'll probably get that second fan going, and maybe getting an adapter so I can use that monitor to the left there. Other than that, I think that's pretty successful, and yeah, hope you guys all have a fantastic day. Bye!